Council management?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they.
That's, I was listening.
Can you hear me, Susan?
Sure.
Some pretty girl.
Yes, a lovely girl. Nora, nice name too. Old fashioned name. I guess they get.
So we're live. I want to bring this meeting to order. It is 12:14. We were having some technical issues with logging in our deputy mayor, but she has joined us through teleconference. I'd like to welcome back Councilor Tom O'Brien. Great to see you at the table, sir. I know you've been challenged with a little bit of health issues, but your color looks great, and so glad to see you here, buddy.
You're here.
You're here. So it is 12:14. We have 8 attendees that have logged on through electronic media. I'd like to welcome our management team also, calling the meeting to order. I'd ask a member of council that we call the meeting to order.
I so moved.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, second by Councilor Darren Robert. All in favor?
Aye.
Carry. Did I hear an aye there, Susan? Okay, I heard it. Okay, we'll do our land acknowledgement. Stephenville and the whole of the Bay St. George area is home to rich, diverse, and vibrant rural indigenous communities. Located on the ancestral and unceded territory of the Beothuk, the lands and waters and around us have traditionally served as a gathering place for the Mi'kmaq. The broader region of Newfoundland and Labrador continues to be home to diverse indigenous peoples, including First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. We honor and pay respect to the past, present, and future caretakers of these territories. Item number 4, the approval of the agenda. I'd ask a member of council to approve. Moved by Councilor Tom O'Brien, second.
Second it?
Councilor Maurice Himes, all in favor?
Aye.
Carry. So today, August 21st, in the great town of Stephenville, Newfoundland, we also will move into item number 5, the approval of previous minutes. These minutes were circulated by our town clerk by electronic media. 5.1, be it resolved that the minutes for July 31st, 2025 public meeting of council be approved. I would ask a member of council to move. Moved by Councilor Laura Aylward, second. Councilor Myra White, all in favor?
Aye.
Carry. Item number 2. Be it resolved that the minutes for special public meeting of council August 13, 2025 be approved. I would ask for a motion of council.
Move.
Moved by Councilor Darren Roberts, second.
Second it?
Second, Councilor Maurice Hines, all in favor?
Aye.
Carry. Are there any matters arising from those minutes? I hear no matters, so we will move on. Proclamations and delegations, I understand there's nothing for today. Okay, Finance Committee report, I'm going to turn it over to Councilor Myra White. Item number 7 for our Financial Committee report.
Thank you. Finance Committee report, 7.1 accounts payable. Be it resolved to approve accounts payable for August the 21st, 2025 in the amount of $126,397.53. I so moved.
Just a correction there. I'm showing 126,397.
Oh, yes, did I not say that? Okay, sorry.
You say 8?
Okay, I'll just read it.
Okay, just clarify that.
Be it resolved to approve accounts payable for August the 21st, 2025 in the amount of $126,397.53. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second, Councilor Darren Roberts, all in favor?
Aye.
Carry.
7.2 expense check, July 2025. Be it resolved that the town of Stephenville approve expense checks for the month of July 2024, 2025, totaling $1,561,323.77. I so move.
Moved by Counselor Myra White, second by Counselor Laura Aylward. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
7.3 property tax. Be it resolved to approve property tax adjustments in the amount of $7,666.17. I so move.
Moved by Counselor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second, Counselor Darren Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
7.4 water and sewer. Be it resolved to approve water and sewer tax adjustments in the amount of $756. I so move.
Moved by Counselor Myra White. Second.
Second.
Okay, I seen the hand of Counselor Laura Aylward. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
7.5 remission of tax. Be it resolved to approve remission of tax in the amount of $563.57. I so move.
Moved by Counselor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second, Counselor Maurice Hines. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
7.6 business tax. Be it resolved to approve business tax write-offs in the amount of $4,652.23. I so move.
Moved by Counselor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second, Counselor Darren Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
7 miscellaneous accounts. Be it resolved to approve write-off on miscellaneous account in the amount of $1,612.69. I so move.
Moved by Counselor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second, Counselor Darren Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Item number 8, community grant program. 8.1. Bay St. George Disc Golf Association. Bay St. George
Mountain bike.
Mountain Bikes. Oh, sorry. Okay, 8.1, Bay St. George Mountain Bike Club. Be it resolved that the town council approve community grant to Bay St. George Mountain Bike Club in the amount of $1,438.10 to support trail development and maintenance. I so move.
Second.
Second by Counselor Laura Aylward. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Number 8.2, funding request Bay FM. Whereas Bay FM has proposed an expansion of its FM transmitter service to include broadcasting to Bay St. George area with a total projected cost of $33,000. Be it resolved that the town of Stephenville commit.
Wait now. What, are you in number 9 or number 10?
It's number 8.
This
Number 8,
this is changed. They changed the order. That one came up.
the bike one
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah, but number 9 on the next page.
No, that's not under falling under.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
it's not, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
It's-
Okay. Okay,
Okay, I'll
Okay.
get over.
Let's start again.
yeah.
Because even after your first component there, Susan said aye. And
Yeah.
you just jumped ahead a little bit there, so we're gonna bring you back around, Deputy Mayor. That's okay. Yeah, okay.
8.2, funding request Bay FM. Whereas Bay FM has proposed an expansion of its FM transmitter service to include broadcasting to the Bay St. George area with a total projected cost of $33,000. Be it resolved that the town of Stephenville commit to the contribution 50% of the cost in the amount of $15,000 to Bay FM in support of their application to Canadian Radio, Television, and Telecommunications Committee, CRTC, to extend FM broadcast services to the Bay St. George area. And further, that should other municipalities choose not to support the initiative, the broadcast services, if the application is approved, will be limited to the town of Stephenville at a reduced cost. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Myra White, second by Councillor Maurice Hines. Question?
No, maybe a
Just
little bit more of an explanation to that, because we understand what's going on. It'd be nice if the
Yeah,
taxpayers.
so just out of clarity, this has been something that's been on for a few years at the town council. And there's been evidence that community radio has worked really well in places like Burgeo, really works well in the Bay of Islands with Bay FM. And since we have had the loss of CFSX, our local radio station, and the loss of our local Georgian, local weekly newspaper, we have felt in the community a disconnect, the inability of community groups, residents, businesses to be able to communicate about what's happening, and sometimes that's the good and the bad. So if it's a rainy, hail, sleet day, sometimes people would get to know that on a local radio perspective. So we've had representatives from Bay FM come in and present to council, and they want to set up a satellite facility in Stephenville so that we would once again be connected to our community and region. And when we talk about the region, we are a regional center. So the scope of this project would be in support, and there's been some preliminary meetings with the different municipalities on a pro rata basis. We got the biggest population, we would spend the most, but they would also come in, and it would require a more sophisticated, more expanded type of telecommunications facility. But what protects us here is we're going to support it. In the event that we don't get any support from the outreaching communities, we would small scale it to a smaller telecommunications tower, and it would be like a Stephenville rather than a Bay St. George port-to-port community radio. But we want it to be all inclusive. We think it benefits all communities, and it's going to be a welcome news. The steps here are, they will apply, and then it's the CRTC that will actually grant them or reject them. In most chances, we feel that they've got such a DNA and they've done some good work in the province that it should go forward. So this is where council is stepping up to show that we're focused on the community, communicating, openness, transparency, and helping build rapport with all of our regional communities. Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Item number 9 is a request for grant. Be it resolved to approve a grant to the Downtown Stephenville Business Improvement, the BIA, in the amount of $24,228.20 to purchase seating and banners for the Kinsman Square on Main Street. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second, Councillor Maurice Hines. Question. Okay, I just gotta speak on this because we just had a little update from our CAO about a procedure that we may have to defer it. So I would turn the closest, maybe can you handle the chair while I'm speaking? Yeah. So basically, we had a very, very successful meeting with the BIA. They have reconstituted their incorporated body to continue doing the great work they're doing on Main Street. And we have done some changes to how we do grant requests and stuff like that. And grant requests comes out of a budgetary component of our community grants. So they want to expand accessibility really at the town square, which we spoke to them. They agreed, we agreed that it would be to the benefit of everybody in the community, and it's a great initiative. But based on recommendations from management, they will They were supposed to have a meeting, and remember how the summer goes, everything's busy in the summer. But there's a commitment from management that there will be a new MOU signed between the BIA and the town council coming out of that meeting. And I understand that it's going to happen between now and the next meeting, so we'll be ready for approval. But this really should go back, come in as a grant request to our,
Community contribution fund
yeah,
application process.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what I would recommend, based on our procedures, that we would just defer it. That gives us time to have the MOU signed. It comes back and it comes out of our community grant program, because the requests come in as a matching grant, and the MOU and the recommendations is they'd come in every year, apply for a grant to do whatever they want to do, and council would deal with that. And actually, it'll be the new council dealing with it in 2026, because there's a new election coming on October 2nd. But we can actually have this completed for the upgrades to the town square at the next public meeting. But it's more procedural. So do you want to expand or anything on it, or did I cover it?
I don't think so. I mean, when we had our meeting with the BIA back a few months ago, we did commit to working together to establish an MOU moving forward with the BIA. And we would do all our terms and conditions in there, and how we would work collaboratively together. So we did commit to that. It hasn't happened yet, but we do commit to kind of getting that process started and hopefully be able to present it at the next meeting. But the request that came through meets the eligibility criteria of the community contribution fund. So we would recommend that it come through that avenue, so it can go through the proper approvals the way every other community group does in Stephenville.
And I guess when we did our budget, we have a budget for community fund applications, but we really didn't have a budget in 2025 budget for a matching grant. And that's what the MOU would do. Instead of asking for a matching grant, they would just ask for a grant contribution. It's just terminology changing. So my recommendations is that we would defer it, so management and the BIA can hammer out that it might be just a one-page MOU.
So,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit disappointed in the sense that we had a discussion on that Monday in finance, and all of a sudden now, agree as we set up to go to the grant program. But why wasn't this discussed that Monday? And we had a meeting as a whole, everybody was here. And from Monday to today, we find out that there went through a proper process.
It should have been
No.
raised at the meeting. You're absolutely right, Councilor. It's gonna delay us 2 weeks getting this approved, but these bleachers and all the upgrades, by the time they get the money, put out the tender, get the stuff in, it'll probably be ready for Christmas adventure. You know what I mean? But I think from a procedural perspective and where the funding is gonna come through, we do have a new process. It should just be redirected.
I was heavily involved with the process, and I know that pushed it
Yeah.
and everything else. I'm just disappointed that we had a long meeting Monday at finance that was on the agenda. And it was a recommendation to come to the meeting today. And then 2.5 days later,
I agree with you, with Councilor Roberts, because when I saw it on the original agenda, it was going to be voted, because we left the meeting basically agreeing that it was going to go forward.
Yeah.
But if we made a mistake, we have to fix it and to make sure it's done proper.
we gotta go through the process now.
So basically, all we would have is the MOU signed by the chair and by management or the clerk. I would say the clerk would sign that, right?
So if this was a motion brought forward and seconded, so if you're doing a recommendation to defer. you can-
Yeah, I think it defer, we're not gonna rescind it, we're gonna just defer it.
The question is, do we have a date for getting together for the MOU?
Well,
We don't, but we will.
Can we set a date for it or a time frame?
Well-
Within the next 2 weeks or?
It'd be nice.
Yes, and my commitment is that, you know, if the BIA is able to, if their availability meets it, then we will have as soon as possible, as soon as they're ready to meet. And
Because,
start as early as next week.
yeah, I think my concern with that is, you know, there's election coming up, and nomination day is September 4th.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's going to be looking to run, but when that nomination day hits September 4th, and you have parties that decide they're going to run for the election, that may throw a kind of a little
Yeah,
wrinkle into to setting up an MOU.
Well, I think, you know, remember, when it comes to conflict, that's when we recuse ourselves from the table. We can still make decisions. We're a council up until, actually, up until the new council gets sworn in, we're still a council.
That's right.
And that could be a day after
And what I'm talking
October.
about is people looking to run for election that's not on council now. It's nice to have this done before.
Well, I think,
I will reach out today.
Yeah.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
yeah, my recommendations going on with Council Roberts, let's reach out to them today.
Mhm.
Let's get the meeting set for next week. Have it done next week, so it's ready to come to our Monday and Thursday the following week.
thank you.
So, stop.
At the meeting you had with the BIA, was
Yes.
this explained? to
Oh,
them?
yes, yeah, they were in agreement and,
They know that they need to fill out that application and the MOU? Was that explained to?
well, it was explained that we have a new process for grant applications, because that's something new.
Yeah.
But it was agreed that they would meet with our management staff, hammer out the new
And
MOU
this,
and move forward, so then we're set for the, and then that'll be set for the new council.
Well, it's just let Candace contact
Yeah.
BIA and work through it and
Oh.
with the goal of it will be back on the table 2 weeks from today.
today.
Yes,
So we're back on a 2-week schedule, remember?
Yeah.
okay,
The next one is 3? Yeah, and
Okay,
that's,
so we'll be back on the
3
table
weeks.
for approval
in
at
3
our next
weeks.
meeting.
Yeah.
That's my promise and commitment.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
So noted that it is deferred. We need a motion for deferral. I'd ask the member of the council, moved by Councillor Tom O'Brien, second,
Second,
Councillor Maurice Hines, all in favor?
aye.
Carried. Okay, thank you for that.
And that's the last item on the finance today.
That's it. And planning a committee report,
Mr. Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry, I do have a late item.
okay.
Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
It's called an award of tender. Be it resolved to award the tender of Stephenville Asphalt Paving 2025, tender number 2025-08, Boyd and Bungie Construction, Inc., in the amounts of prices excluding the HST mobilization and demobilization to be included in prices. Surface course asphalt, areas larger than 100 square meter, $465 a ton. Patching asphalt pavement, 50 millimeters thickness, $140 a ton. Patching asphalt pavement, 50 millimeters thickness, town prep patch, $100 a ton. Manholes adjust only, $1,750. The value box is to adjust only for $1,500. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Myra White, second. Second, Councillor Tom O'Brien.
Question? Can we have our public works personnel explain what this tender is all about? Because this is first we've seen on the table.
Yeah, I can explain the best I can. I wasn't really involved with this tender, but this one's just for doing our yearly asphalt, anytime we needed asphalt for patching or anything like that, is we put the tender out and get the quoted prices for the year. Am I correct, Jennifer?
You are correct.
Yeah.
So last 2 years, it was just
Yeah.
expired 10.
Yeah,
Just a tender process, just for the small patching work.
and this one's for 2 years again, is it? And this one's for 2 years again.
And what's the prices comparable to the previous ones? It's a tender anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm just curious how much it went up by. Oh, no, that's information you get afterwards.
Okay, all in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Aye, carry. Okay, is that it for finance?
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
wonderful. Thank you very much, Councillor Myra White. Nothing other than planning and traffic that we need to table today. Okay, number 9 is our bylaws, regulations, and policies. This is a new policy update that we have moved forward in our bylaws. It's the Equity, Diversity, Inclusion Policy. Be it resolved that the Town of Stephenville Council approve equity, diversity, inclusion policy as circulated and vetted through our legal counsel. Can I ask somebody to move it?
I move that.
Moved by Councillor Maurice Hines, second. Second, Councillor Myra White. She beat you there, Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, just saying. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, carried. Okay, nothing late, Deputy Mayor, Deputy Chief Administration Officer. Sign.
Okay.
Okay, any unfinished business? Anything for new business? I just want to reiterate that we still have fires in Newfoundland and Labrador, and even though our zone is very low when it comes to fire risk at this point, the fire ban is still in place until September 7th, province-wide, just for clarity. And, you know, we're not going to see rain until Monday night, Tuesday morning. So we've had very little water. I just want to say to, and maybe I'll get a little clarification here from Matt. He's got a background in aquifers, but one of the benefits to having aquifers as opposed to surface water, I think we have a little bit better ability to have water volumes than somebody that's on the surface. Now, aquifers sometimes will deplete when you have low rain conditions because that saturates down and does the percolation works its way down into these aquifers. But we have 10 wells now, Matt, 11?
We have 9 right now.
9 right now. So we have multiple wells, some overproduce, some underproduce. At times, sometimes an aquifer could actually dry up, just like a well could dry up. But we've seen the evidence across the province how surface wells are going dry, water levels in their water supply areas, which mostly in Newfoundland and Labrador are surface lakes and ponds, that they are more, I would say, more subject to drought conditions. And we might get a bit of a dumping if that hurricane kind of moves towards Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. That's coming up, Hurricane Aaron. But I just want to just let everybody know that you still have to be cognizant of fire because we're not out of the fire season yet. I just want to reiterate that. And the last thing I want to say for anybody in the audience who's over 18 to run for council, Jennifer? Yeah, 18. And your taxes are paid and you're going to town council or mayor. Just let you know. And so for anybody that's listening or anybody that's going to get picked up on public feed, we always need people running for council. And it is a rewarding job. It is a frustrating job at times because not every file goes well. But the goal is you come here, you try to make Stephenville a better place after you leave after 4 years. And that's everybody's goal when you become a councillor or mayor. So we would encourage any citizens in Stephenville, put your name forward and play a role. It's a lot of work. And sometimes it's many files and everything don't go perfect. And it takes a bit of time. But at the end of the day, in 4 years, you should be able to achieve results of success. So on that note, I would call for an adjournment by my good buddy, Councillor Tom O'Brien. Moved by Councillor Tom O'Brien, second. Second, Councillor Darren Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. It is 12:43 p.m. on this great day in Stephenville, Newfoundland.
It's just.
Thank you, Todd. You took that far from me of adjourning the meeting.